Hello, my awesome friends. It's your buddy Phil here. Welcome to the PMP Exam Radio Show. Today, I got a message from one of our friends. And just so you know, I welcome hearing from you, my friends. If you go on down to the link, anchor.fm/PM radio/message, you will be able to leave me a message, and that message might actually feature on the next radio show. Okay, I'm going to put a link below to anchor.fm/PM radio/message. Hit that link and leave me a message. So Jennifer, one of our listeners, wrote today and said she's been listening to our podcast now for a couple of weeks. I know some of you have been listening for longer than that. So I got to give a shout out to Jennifer for getting in touch with me and letting me know that she is totally digging the content. She's enjoying it. She thinks I'm an amazing teacher. Hey, Jennifer, don't let my head get too big now. But thank you so much for writing in. Thank you so much. I truly do care about my students, and I want everyone listening to the sound of my voice to absolutely crush that exam. So thank you very much. You said you enjoy when I talk about how to answer tricky questions. So I want to give you some inkling into how I think about these questions. Do you know the amount of rigor the PMI goes through when they put these questions together? They have so many drafts, so many people involved, about 5 panelists at first, and they just keep on bringing in more and more people to review. Now, I know this firsthand because even though I haven't written questions, I know people that have. And it's quite a rigorous dog and pony show. Trust me. If a question is not going to work, the PMI is not going to put it in there. The questions they give you absolutely have to work. If they ain't working, they're going to take them out and you're not going to see them again. But this is my special take on how I would write the questions. And to be quite honest, I know a lot of my fellow colleagues, my fellow professionals that have been in the world of project management for a long time. I know this is how they think, Jennifer. So take a look at this. If you truly mean business on the PMP exam, you got to get used to saying, what should the project manager do next? What should the project manager do first? What is the next best thing to do? Or what is the first thing to do? And all that lingo. So the very first type of question to expect front and center is issues. I'm a project manager. I've got this issue. What should I do? You're a project manager. You've got a problem. What should you do? You are a project manager. You encounter a risk. What should you do? Now listen, issues and problems, pretty similar. You could have a negative issue, and problems are all negative, right? But you could have a positive issue to discuss. We've got too much cash, too much revenues. What are we going to do with it? How are we going to make sure we invest properly and above board so that we act as sensible fiduciaries of the revenues coming in for the stakeholders? You see, that could be a positive issue, but problems are typically negative, right? You find a problem, you're not going to have a positive problem. Now, when we look at risk, the difference between a risk and an issue or a problem is a risk could happen, an issue or problem has happened. You get that? Now, when we talk about decision making, that could be another dimension on your exam. Actions that you need to take or actions you failed to take, which leads us to accountability and responsibility. You are a project manager on a project. This happened. What should you have done to prevent it? You could also get questions along the lines of methods and models. You're facing this. What method would you use? You're a project manager. Your schedule is late. You are delayed. What should you do? The question could go further to giving you clues that you need to use to answer the question. Like this. You are a project manager. You are unable to add any more resources to the project, but you are able to use the opportunities that exist to your advantage. Since you're running late, what should you do? A, fast track. B, crash. C, something else. Well, in those two I gave you, those two options, you know you cannot crash because crashing is adding more resources. So that immediately eliminates that. So when you're looking at the PMP questions, in the back of your mind, my friends, you really need to have your wits about you. Have I been given any clues to answer this question effectively? Yes or no? If you have, pay close attention to those clues, all right? The same token, you could get a model question, an artifact question, where you get certain clues and you just know, all right, can't be that, has to be this because of the information given ahead of time. You get what I'm saying? So you could get a question that says you're a project manager, you are right there in the middle of monitoring and controlling, something's up, something's happening, what should you do? That would not be the option to choose that says product analysis. You get what I'm saying? So you could get questions about methods, models, artifacts, where the project manager is asked, what should you do next? Now, inputs, tools, and techniques and outputs are not wrote on the exam, but it does help you knowing the lingo, knowing the language. You could get a ton of questions about change management. After all, Agile is called change-driven. You could get questions on defects. Now, to put a second dimension next to the first 10 dimensions I told you of issue, problem, risk, decision, action, method, model, artifact, change, and defect, you could have a second dimension on the y-axis, which is corrective action, preventive action, defect repair, updates, plans, compliance, integration, scope, schedule, cost, quality, resources, communication, risk, procurement, stakeholder, and things like that. You can have those dimensions as well. Where there's an intersection, you could further ask yourself, is this a people, process, or business question? Or is it both? As I said a few days ago, these questions are so thoroughly mixed that you could have a question that is risk, preventive action, and process. Or risk, preventive action, and people. It really depends on what is at play. So I hope from all of this, my friend, you've got an idea of what to look out for on this PMP exam. And hey, like I said in the beginning, there's a link right there below. If you go on down to the website, anchor.fm/PM radio/message, you'll be able to leave me a voice message. And I very well might just feature it in the next episode. So go on down, leave a message or two, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Once again, thank you, Jennifer, for the message, and everyone else, looking forward to hearing from you. Bye for now.